What up, everybody? I am the Transportation Hub, and welcome back to my channel. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about the Queens Express Bus Redesign Plan. Okay, last time we did a commentary, we talked about the Queens Local Redesign Plan. Okay, if you guys don't remember, it is the Queens Local Bus Redesign Plan that will have 85 local routes in total, which will consist of 35 local bus routes, 27 rush routes, 16 limited routes, and 7 crosstown select bus routes. Alright, and so in today's episode right now, we're going to be talking about the Queens Express Bus Network, okay? Now, just like with Staten Island and the Bronx, right? Their express bus network plans will be released at later times, far further than their local route plan counterparts, okay? So, alright, I'm going to read to you guys real quick the summary of the proposed changes to the Express Bus Network for the Borough of Queens. Alright? The Express Bus Network has been redesigned to better fit existing ridership patterns and eliminate underused portions of the network and provide new opportunities for access for different parts of Queens into Manhattan. While most of the proposed express routes will look familiar to us actually, right? Some have proposed changes to provide a more direct and efficient service to and from Manhattan. Here is a summary of the proposed changes to the express bus network. Okay, as you can see right here, according to this document presented right in front of you guys, they are preparing a total of 28 express routes. One new express bus route will be serving Southeast Queens from Springfield Gardens and Rochdale directly to downtown Manhattan. I think this is a very good route because we know of 3 particular routes that serve Southeast Queens, but they only serve Midtown Manhattan. Those routes right now are currently the QM21 and the X63 and the X64. Alright, and as you guys don't know, right, the last three out of the 7 remaining X prefix routes, but this one's for Queens, X63, X64, and X68 will be relabeled and become the brand new QM63, QM64, and QM68. Alright, and this proposed route that I just read in regards to a new express bus route serving Southeast Queens from Springfield Gardens and Rochdale Village to downtown Manhattan will be the newly proposed QM65. Alright, we are proposing to discontinue the QM3 due to low riderships. Now, the QM3, right? I look at the schedule for the QM3 and it's garbage. The schedule is garbage, the route is garbage, so the MTA can move forward and throw the entire QM3 route down the garbage where it belongs. Alright, we are proposing to retire the QM10, and the QM40 route labels to consolidate service into 3 streamlined and more efficient direct routes. Okay, the proposed QM11, QM12, and QM42. We have proposed to eliminate duplicate service that travel along Union Turnpike west of 180th Street, bringing those routes onto the highway faster. We have removed 3 different service patterns, also known as variants, on such routes as the existing X68, so customers can board the correct bus with confidence. Yeah, during rush hours, right? You know, if anyone takes the X68 bus along Hillside Avenue, Queens Boulevard, right? You know, during the AM rush hours, right? Buses are going to Manhattan, which is inbound, by the way. Express buses coming from Manhattan into Queens, those will be the outbound buses. Okay, let me review this to you one more time, ladies and gentlemen. Buses that are coming to Manhattan, that are coming into Manhattan, those will be the inbound buses going from Queens to Manhattan, and buses that are coming, Queens Express buses that are coming from Manhattan into Queens, those will be the outbound buses. Just to let y'all know. And for those of you who takes the X68 bus along Hillside Avenue and Queens Boulevard, right? You should know that during the AM rush hours, they have the X68 has three various services, right? You have one X68 bus that operates to 23rd Street, 1st Avenue via 3rd Avenue, 57th Street, and 5th Avenue. Alright? You have another route variant that'll go to 23rd Street, 1st Avenue via 34th Street and 5th Avenue. And you have one more route that operates to Midtown, 57th Street via 42nd Street and via Madison Avenue. Alright. So, with this particular route, right? The 3rd Avenue, 57th Street, or 34th Street, and the 5th Avenue routing inbound buses into Manhattan going to 23rd Street, 1st Avenue will be discontinued. Okay, I'm gonna let you guys know right now. The inbound terminus for 23rd Street, 1st Avenue for the X63, X64, and X68 buses will be discontinued. Yeah, guys, I'm sorry to say this, but it will be discontinued. Now, I already know it's gonna be some type of opposition from Queens Express bus riders, but we'll see what the MTA has laid out in store for us, okay? Because as you all know, the MTA just completed all of their virtual hearings for the Queens Bus Redesign Network. So right now we're just waiting for the final draft, and we're gonna see what happens. Alright? And another thing, right, ladies and gentlemen? All routes that travel along Northern Boulevard or Queens Boulevard have been realigned to the Long Island Expressway with the goals of reducing congestion on the local streets and providing a faster trip for bus customers. Yeah. You need to get those express buses off of Northern Boulevard and especially Queens Boulevard, okay? Like recently, right? I've been on the X63 bus twice, okay? To get from Midtown Manhattan onto Madison Avenue because I wanted to avoid taking the train into downtown Jamaica, right? And the traffic along Queens Boulevard for the X63 and the other buses that travel along Queens Boulevard as well is horrendous. It is horrible. And it has to be addressed, and it has to be done. It has to be addressed, and it needs to be dealt with like yesterday fast because during PM rush hours, right, traffic along Queens Boulevard is horrible. It's extremely horrible. All routes have some proposed bus stops eliminations at low ridership stops to improve bus speed and reliability. Once again, just like with the Queens local redesign plan, I will not be going over the stops that will be added, removed, adjusted, whatever the case will be. Once again, I will provide the link to the Queens redesign plan down below, the Queens redesign project page down below, so you guys can view that yourselves, go over your routes, go over your stops. You can do all that because I will provide the link to the Queens redesign project down below, and I will card it up above as well. Yes, routes on the express bus maps are colored by their Manhattan destinations to improve legibility and ease of use. Purple for 6th Avenue, dark green for 3rd Avenue, light green for 5th Avenue, and Madison Avenue, and orange for downtown. Alright, and lastly, we are proposing frequency and service span changes to express routes. While some express routes operate near capacity on some trips, many trips are underutilized, especially during the weekday middays and on weekdays. We are proposing to reduce service where ridership is the lowest so we can reinvest the service where it's most needed. The table will summarize the frequencies and proposals for the express routes. So once again, I will provide the link to the Queens Bus Redesign project page down below, and I'll also card it up above. You can check your route changes, and you can check the respective profiles of your bus routes. Okay, once again, just like with the Queens Bus Redesign Plan, I will not be doing a voiceover for every route by route. Just to let you guys know, I will be doing text, like word text in this video, right? Just like I did with the Queens local routes, same thing's gonna be done with the Queens Express routes, and I will throw in my predictions of which bus routes will be dispatched from which depot. Okay, so that is that. And before I get started, right, you can all take a look at this map for the proposed Queens Express Bus Network. Okay, as you can see, you will not see any buses along Queens Boulevard or Northern Boulevard, as most of them have been realigned and be rerouted onto the highways. Okay, onto the highways. All right. Well, they're not going to use Queens Boulevard entirely, just like the half of it, because all of the outbound buses, right, that are coming into Queens from Manhattan, right? Once they get off the Queensboro Bridge, right? Once they exit from the Queensboro Bridge, right? They will utilize the Long Island Expressway, okay, to get to Queens Boulevard and get off at the and at least get off at the Queens Center Mall exit to utilize Queens Boulevard the rest of the way, because they're not going to use Queens Boulevard entirely from Long Island City, from Long Island City all the way out to at least Jewel Avenue, Union Turnpike, Hillside Avenue, and Van Wyck Expressway. Okay? If anything, the outbound buses that are coming from Manhattan into Queens will utilize the same route pattern that inbound buses will use to get into Manhattan from Queens. You know, via Queens Boulevard, hop aboard the Long Island Expressway near the Queens Center Mall in Elmhurst. Hop along and drive along the Long Island Expressway to reach the Queens Midtown Tunnel into Manhattan. That's inbound. Alright? Just to let y'all know. So I'm gonna shut up and I'm gonna stop talking so you guys could view the writing on the routes and view my predictions of which bus routes will be dispatched from which depot. So without further ado, let's get right into the showcasing. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I see that you guys are done going over every single projected express bus route. Now it's time for my summary on the Queens Express bus routes. But before I go, right, I just want to share these two interesting presentation slides, PowerPoint presentation slides that I found on the MTA.info website in the Queens Bus Redesign Review project page. Okay, as you can see, the two screenshots right in front of you guys, right? One is a new draft plan for the Queens Bus Network Redesign, which consists of 25 slides, and another one where it says redesigning the bus network in Queens, which consists of 12 slides. Okay, both of those presentation slides, both of the links to those presentation slides will be in the description box down below. Alright, with that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to go over some things that we talked about in the Queens local redesign route, just to make sure that we're on the same level and make sure that we get things perfectly clear. Okay, now the route changes for the Queens redesign plan overall, right? It will be a total, as we discussed, right? It'll be a total of 85 proposed bus routes, okay, with 20 new bus routes, 17 routes that will be extended, 11 routes with minor realignments, 10 routes with stop changes only, 9 routes that will be shortened on one end but will be extended on the opposite end, 8 routes that will be shortened overall, 5 routes that will be unified routes with a unification of 2 routes or more that we talked about, 4 routes with major realignments, meaning reroutes for better, faster, streamlined service, and 1 route with no routing or stop changes. Now, the route labels, as we talked about, right, it will go as followed, right? We will have 20 new route labels. Most of them are routes with changes too significant to use as an existing queue label, and we're going to have 18 route labels that will be retired. Most of them have either combined with most of them either have a new label or has to be unified with other routes. Okay, and here is a listing of the new routes that we have. We have the new Q14, the new Q45, the new Q48, which will operate weekdays only between Kew Gardens and Glen Oaks via Union Turnpike as a rush route. Oh my. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. Also, we have the new Q51 route. We have a new Q57 route, a new Q61 route, Q62, Q63, Q68, Q73, Q75, Q78, Q80, Q82, Q86, Q98, Q105, Q109, Q115, and B53. Now, the B53 bus route will be further discussed later on in the Brooklyn Bus Redesign Plan. Okay, it is the proposed bus route that will replace BQ24 service west of Broadway Junction along Broadway. Because y'all know the Q24 will be operating between Parsons Boulevard, 88th Avenue, I believe, and Broadway Junction. Okay, so the projected Q24 will be connected with the E, F, J, and Z lines and the Long Island Railroad. Alright, so there's that. And it will cover 3/4 of the it will cover 1/2 of the existing Q32 route along the further out western end of Broadway, at the end of Broadway in Brooklyn. right deep in the heart of Williamsburg. All right. What else? Oh, and it'll also place some parts of the Q20 of the B24. Sorry, by the way, to and from Sunnyside. All right. Now the service changes. Now the changes to the B24 and the B32 will be further discussed in the Brooklyn Bus Redesign Plan. All right. So we're moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Here are the route numbers to be retired: the Q6, the Q15, the Q15A, Q20A and B, Q29, Q30, Q36, Q41, existing Q48 that operates between LaGuardia Airport and Flushing Main Street Subway Station, Q64, Q100, Q101, Q102, Q103, Q110, Q112, Q113, B24, and B32. Alright, these are the routes that will be retired. Alright, with all that out of the way, y'all, let's talk about the overall proposed express bus network changes for the Borough of Queens. Yeah, just like with the Bronx redesign bus plan, right? I do not see making their Queens Local making their debut change as same as the Queens Express. I'm sorry, Queens Express making their debut change along with the Queens Local, because I can see some issues with this particular redesign plan for the Borough of Queens, right? Now I understand that they do this to, change the repetitive, redundant service of all these routes, but you have to really put the customer in mind, by the way, right? Okay, so you need to understand that there's some segments of the routes that people don't want to be changed, and I noticed that because even though I like the redesign plan for the most part, except for the headways, because those proposed headways for most of those bus routes are awful, and they need to change. And the TA needs to get a fix on that. They need to get a fix on that before they release their final plan. Yeah, I understand that a lot of people don't like it because the way how the route was designed, like they didn't listen to the strap hangers at these board meetings. But you know what? It's the MTA. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go ahead and do what they want, because at the end of the day, they already have money granted from the federal government, so they're already gonna move forward with this plan, no matter how many times we debate this, we defute this, or point out any problems and errors that we see with these particular routes. All I can say is these routes better be a smashing success, and they better be better than the ones that we have today. That's all I'm saying. And I'll just leave it at that. To each their own. Alright? Now, real quick, I want to talk about the overruled proposal express bus network changes for the Borough of Queens, okay? As we all know, right, we will have one new express bus route, which will be the QM65 that will operate from Laurelton, Springfield Gardens, right? And it will operate through Rochdale. Okay, so it will operate along Merrick Boulevard, then it will go along Farmers Boulevard. Okay, the bus will terminate at Merrick Boulevard, or either 231st Street or 233rd Street, or the bus will somehow terminate at Merrick Boulevard and 233rd Street, or 233rd Street and Merrick Boulevard, coming from Manhattan, and to Manhattan. the QM65 will probably, not probably, like, according to the bus stop changes, according to the bus stops in the Queens Redesign Plan for the proposed QM65, right? The bus will originate at Merrick Boulevard and 233rd Street, heading inbound to Manhattan, and it will terminate at Merrick Boulevard, 233rd Street, outbound, coming from Manhattan. Right, so it will operate along Merrick Boulevard, along with the QM63, right? Then it will serve Farmers Boulevard, then Bedell Street, then on Baisley Boulevard, then on Buer Boulevard with the QM21, then left turn onto Linden, right turn to Van Wyck Expressway Service Road, literally go into the Van Wyck Expressway Service Road, go on Queens Boulevard, travel through Kew Gardens, go on Queens Boulevard, hop on the Long Island Expressway to travel to the Queens Midtown Tunnel, enter Midtown Manhattan, serve a stop at East 34th Street and First Avenue, and then hop on the FDR Drive to get to and from downtown Manhattan. Yes, so this QM65 route will be the route that will connect strap hangers that reside in Laurelton, Springfield Gardens, Rochdale Village, Kew Gardens, wherever, to get to and from downtown Manhattan. So this is going to be the downtown Manhattan access for all the Southeast Queens residents. Which I say, this is a very good route, by the way. And I noticed in the QMT, at the very first Queens draft plan that the MTA had laid out, right? They put that route that route was part of the QMT route for Queens Manhattan Temporary, right? Those routes, right? They were drawn horribly the first time around, but the TA used the COVID-19 pandemic to put the project on pause, because I read on the MTA website, right, that they have received at least over 11,000 comments about the original Queens redesign bus plan. And I can already tell you, most of them weren't very good. So that's why they had to go back to the drawing board and redo the whole damn thing. And this redesign plan, I gotta say, it came out better than the very first one, because you can actually see which lettering it is, which route number is going to be used, and which route will go from where to where at each end of the route. And you can see very vividly and very clearly, it says northbound to this place, southbound to this place, eastbound to this place, westbound to that place, inbound to this place, inbound to Manhattan, outbound to Queens, or whatever, right? So that's a very good route right there. So that was a very good change right there. I'll give y'all that. Alright, we have one route that will be discontinued, which will be the QM3. For those who don't know, the QM3 is that bus route that operates between Midtown Manhattan and via 6th Avenue and Little Neck. Yeah, I looked for the schedule for the QM3, and the scheduling is horrible. Only has like 3 to 4 trips, and that's it. That's horrible. So they could go on right ahead and throw that bus route down the damn garbage where it belongs. Alright. 2 routes consolidated, QM10 and the QM40. Okay, we already talked about that. The QM10 is that route that operates to Regal Park, Lafrac City, I believe. Same thing with same thing that goes with the QM40, because the QM10 operates via 6th Avenue, while the QM40 on the other hand operates via 3rd Avenue. It's further out east Midtown. So that's that. 3 routes straight in: the QM11, QM12, and QM42. Alright, for those of you who don't know, right? The QM11 is that route that operates in Forest Hills. The QM11, the QM12, and the QM42, right? It's that route that operates between Forest Hills, and Manhattan. Alright? Right? The QM11. Let's see. Oh. Oh, wait. Sorry. The QM11 operates to downtown Manhattan. Yeah, the QM11 is that route that operates to downtown Manhattan. The QM12 is the route that operates to Midtown Manhattan via 6th Avenue. And the QM42 is that route that operates to Midtown Manhattan via 3rd Avenue. So that's that. Removed variants. Okay? The variants that were removed was the X68, because as you all know, the X68 has 3 variants that operates into Manhattan, via 42nd Street and Madison Avenue to Midtown 57th Street, 23rd Street 1st Avenue via 57th Street, 23rd Street 1st Avenue via 34th Street. Those are the variants, and they had to be fixed and they had to be removed. Alright, remove duplicate service where possible. Okay, Union Turnpike. Alright, that's cool. All bus stops receive bus stop balancing. Alright, cool. Route colors are coded by Manhattan and destinations. Okay, 3rd Avenue, Madison Avenue, 6th Avenue, and downtown on the network map. As you can look through the PDF files of the Queens Bus Redesign Plan, but okay, going on. All routes removed to the Long Island Expressway. Yes, all routes need to be removed to the Long Island Expressway so that when buses are coming from Manhattan, aka outbound, those buses do not get stuck in traffic on the local roads, on streets such as Queens Boulevard, Northern Boulevard, Union Turnpike, etc. Alright? So that's that. All downtown routes will now stop at East 34th Street and 1st Avenue near New York University of Langone. Well, that's not a very bad idea, because if anyone were to work at NYU Langone, they're coming from Queens, they can easily hop on one of them downtown express buses and get off at that stop, and they're at work. Boom, problem solved. Most express bus routes have some proposed frequency and or span reductions due to low ridership. Okay. Yes, we discussed that. We noticed that some bus routes have their first trip earlier than existing. Some have it later than existing, and some either end later or end earlier than their existing service that they have right now. Alright, so as you can see, we have 5 routes that serve downtown, 4 routes that serve Madison Avenue. By the way, guys, the QM63, QM64, and QM68, formerly known as the X63, X64, and X68, will no longer operate along East 37th Street, 3rd Avenue, 57th Street, 34th Street, 5th Avenue, and then 23rd Street, because that is just repetitive service, and that needed to be changed. So instead, that was a very repetitive and redundant service. So instead, right, buses will now operate when they hop off the Queens Midtown Tunnel, right? They will go on to 2nd Avenue, right turn onto 23rd Street, make all the drop-offs, then right turn to Madison Avenue, make all the drop-offs along Madison Avenue, and then right turn onto 57th Street, and boom, end service at 3rd Avenue and East 57th Street. And they can easily hop back on the Queens Midtown Tunnel to go lay out their buses at that little yard in Long Island City, right by that small Long Island Railroad shop, and right nearby the elevated 7 train line. All right, and we got 12 express bus routes serving 6th Avenue in Midtown, and we got 7 bus routes serving 3rd Avenue in Midtown. Okay, they will operate along the Queens Midtown Tunnel heading into Manhattan and coming from Manhattan. All buses except for the downtown ones, okay, will operate along the Queensboro Bridge, okay, and they will hop on to the Long Island Expressway, either getting off at Queens Boulevard, or they will use either the Grand Central Parkway or the Van Wyck Expressway to get where they need to go, avoiding the entire entity of Queens Boulevard and avoiding the entire entity of Northern Boulevard. Yeah, so that's it for the Queens Express Bus Network. Yeah, I don't know why this was featured in the Queens Bus Redesign Plan, but okay. Okay, let's just briefly go over this, okay? The Interborough Express. For those of you who don't know, once again, the MTA has prepared a feasibility study for the Interborough Express (IBX), which will be a new transit line connecting Queens and Brooklyn via an existing 14-mile freight corridor. In my honestly point of view, that Interborough Express should not be a whole new transit line. It should not be a whole new subway line. It needs to be a light rail line. It needs to be a light rail line. End of story. While we don't yet know the transit mode or potential station locations, the IBS would complement the Queens Bus Redesign Network by potentially connecting dozen or more Queens bus routes, providing a new north to south connection path in a part of Queens that has mostly east and west bus routes, providing connections to South Brooklyn, which the Queens Brooklyn Interborough routes don't serve. We expect to begin the environmental review process in early 2023 and will be engaging with local communities throughout the entire process. Yes, as you all know, before they start these reviews for the IBX, they really have to go over the environmental review, okay? Meaning that some buildings will have to be demolished, some new poles will have to be built, some trees will have to be knocked down and cleaned down, and that entire freight line needs to be cleaned up. It needs to be cleaned up. It needs to get electrified, and it needs to be back in full operational again before it's used for the IBX. And yes, another thing about the Interborough Express, right? Originally, it was supposed to be a 3-borough route known as Triborough Express. It was supposed to operate through Brooklyn, Queens, and the Bronx. Okay, the reason why the Bronx was slashed from the from the Interborough Express is because Metro North Railroad Penn Station access will be using the Hell Gate line to connect between the Queens and the Bronx. Yes, the same Hell Gate line that was originally supposed to be used in the Triborough Express, now known as the Interborough Express, to get between Queens and the Bronx. Now, right? Instead, the Interborough Express will be terminated at Jackson Heights, while the Hellgate Bridge is being used while the Interborough Express, right, is being used for the Penn Station access for Metro North Commuter Railroad. Okay? And a little bit later on in this video, I will explain a little bit more about the Metro North Railroad access to Penn Station, and I will be addressing someone's comments real soon. So stay tuned for that, y'all. Okay, I just want to touch up on something real quick, right? I noticed that the MTA was trying to make their case for the Queens redesigned bus network, and I can see that they've done a really fantastic job, but a lot of people are still not going to like it, and it's for very valid reasons because the routes is not really designed with them for their best interest in mind per se, because you're literally taking away stops from people that really utilizes these stops in their day-to-day lives. So you would take away that stop, but yet they would literally have to use another bus stop, which should be like what, at least 750 feet away from their existing bus stop, while the bus stop that they get off at will be removed as part of the Queens Redesign Plan. They would have to get to another bus stop per se, right? And they would have to utilize other bus routes and stuff because they would have to utilize other bus routes and stuff, right? Or maybe not, because they've gotten so used to utilize other bus stops that they don't really mind, staying inside that bus, utilizing the route to get where they need to go, and they'll either transfer to another bus route or to the subways to get where they need to go. Alright? So this is the case right here. And they're just using this as examples, okay? Simplifying the network, right? As you can see right here, right? We have the proposed Q23, which will be a limited route that will operate between East Elmhurst, right, and Fresh Meadows via 108th Street, Queens Boulevard, Union Turnpike, at 188th Street. All right. Fewer turns and fewer diversions means less time spent stopped at intersections and more time spent moving. Routes serve one purpose, so customers know which route to take without looking at the destination sign. Multiple routes serving the same corridor don't need to make every stop. Frequencies are consistent for a single route and not split between multiple variants. New route types, right? New routes have more specific design guidelines for stop spacing and frequencies, allowing customers to know what type of service to expect on their routes. Alright, now as you can see right here, right, simplifying the bus network with the proposed Q23. Oh, this is interesting. This is just made up, okay? Carolina, okay, who lives in East Elmhurst near 108th Street and Northern Boulevard, has regular physical therapy appointments near the Kew Gardens subway station. Her 4-mile trip is complicated and time-consuming. Okay, walks several blocks west of 108th Street to catch the Q23. Q23 makes many turns on local streets before returning to 108th Street, the street that she lives on. Then she must transfer to the Q60 in Forest Hills to get to Kew Gardens. Her trip takes almost an hour. The newly proposed Q23 Limited serves the entire length of 108th Street, making trips like Carolinas faster, simpler, more frequent, and more direct north to south connections. Travel time reductions is up to 25 minutes. Well, damn. Damn, Miss Carolina, she had a lot of traveling to do, right? She had to walk out to at least 103rd Street because that's where the southbound buses stop at. I don't even know. And then she had to take the Q23 all the way down to Forest Hills to connect with the Q60 to get to Kew Gardens. Wow, just wow. Wow, 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 wow. Well, Miss Carolina, your worries will be long gone, and your long traveling days will be over because your traveling your traveling time is going to be shorter and more direct, according to the MTA right here, because as you can see, right, they literally made the Q23 a direct stream path line route along 108th Street. And as you can see right here with the dashed lines, right, it says this continued segment will be served by the proposed Q14. The Q23 will no longer serve there. It said the Q14 will serve there instead, which will serve there instead. For those of you who don't know, the proposed Q14 will operate between Fresh Pond and East Elmhurst. The original Q14 was here before. It was discontinued back during the 2010 service cuts, okay, and was consolidated with the current and existing Q15A because it used to operate between Flushing Main Street Station and Whitestone. All right, and and the southern part of the existing Q23 route, which serves Forest Hills Union Turnpike, that will be served by the Q73, which will operate between Forest Hills and Queensboro Community College via 73rd Avenue. Okay, it's the bus route that will cover the southern end of the existing Q23. It will operate along Jewel Avenue, acting like the local route to the Q10 Limited, which will operate along Jewel Avenue as well. It will run along Main Street and then run along 73rd Avenue to get to and from the Queensboro Community College. Alright, this one right here is a rush route, and this is the proposed Q51. The proposed Q51 will operate between Cambria Heights 235th Street, allowing the Q4 route to be extended out to Elmont. The Q51, however, will terminate at the Q4's existing eastern terminus. Right? And it will operate along Linden Boulevard, serve Rockaway Boulevard, Crossway Boulevard, and hop on the Belt Parkway to get to and from Gateway Mall in Spring Creek, Brooklyn. Alright? Now, improve the bus network grid, enhancing connectivity. Improve the bus network grid to create new connections. Create new routes to address gaps in bus network. Strengthen and interborough bus travel to the Bronx, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. Each of the strategies to expand access within the borough and to other boroughs. Create new opportunities, reduce travel time, and increase the reach of our ADA accessible bus network. Customer commutes. Enhancing connectivity with the proposed Q51. Alright. Jared, who lives near the corner of Guy Arbor Boulevard and Linden Boulevard, just got a new job at the Gateway Center Mall in East New York. Okay. Let's just say Jared here got a job working at Best Buy in Gateway Mall, or he works at JCPenney or Burlington. One of those places, right? His 6.5-mile commute takes 1 hour and 13 minutes by 2 bus routes, with a required trip north into downtown Jamaica to transfer. So I would assume that, let's just say the Q51 is not there, right? He would literally have to take the Q4 bus route all the way out to Parsons Archer, and he would have to walk out to Jamaica Avenue and catch the Q8 bus, which currently serves Gateway Mall. It doesn't have to be that way, y'all. You understand me? It doesn't really have to be that way, because I could honestly easily say I approve of this route, because to be honest, I've been waiting for a bus route along Linden Boulevard, at least west of Merrick Boulevard, for well over a decade now, since the discontinuation of the horrible sluggish Q89. Because believe it or not, guys, this is a huge step up version from the Q89. All right, and if you guys take a look back at the original bus redesign plan, right, the one from 2019, right, you can see that the MTA did everything to incorporate all the bus routes that were discontinued back in 2010 into that bus redesign network. All right. So, the newly proposed Q51 crosstown route on Linden Boulevard will provide direct, easy east to west connectivity to the Gateway Center Mall. It could save trips like Jared's up to 25 minutes, avoiding the need to transfer to another bus route in downtown Jamaica. Well, that is a very good route, because all those who take the subways into Manhattan, Southeast Queens riders, they have another connection. They can easily take the Q51. They can easily hop on the Q51 and take the Q51 to the Rockaway Boulevard A train station. Okay, they would have a new easy access to the Rockaways and the A train via the Q51. Because you can go to, well, you be bypassing the first boulevard. I'm not gonna say the first boulevard, by the way. So you can easily go to Casino. You can go to the beach out in the Rockaways, or you could just take that A train out into Manhattan without having the need to transfer to the EJ or Z trains at Parsons Archer, or even the F train at Parsons Hillside. Bus Network. Okay, route with new average stops spacing guidelines. Okay. Now, okay, you have, okay, the route types, right? You have the local routes. Right? Which is currently 818 feet, but the proposed average stop spacing will be 1198 feet. Limited existing 1786 feet, but the proposed will be 1382 feet. There's no rush routes right now, so that's not applicable right now for existing. But the proposed bus route spacing will be 1246 feet. Crosstown select bus service routes. Okay, the average stop spacing right now is 3,231 feet, but the proposed bus route spacing for crosstown select bus service routes will be 2,730 feet, 33 feet. Sorry. Last but not least, express routes existing right now. Right now, it's 1,540 feet, but in the future, it will be 1,674 feet. Alright, every bus stop removed saves about 20 seconds on average. This can translate noticeable travel time savings and improve reliability along the entire route. Maintain stops with heavy ridership that provides key connections and serve community facilities. Alright, customer commutes. Customer commutes, okay? Bus stop balancing with new rush service on the proposed Q84. Once again, this is make believe, okay? Sophia, who lives near 120th Avenue and Cambria Heights, currently needs a ride to the Q84 bus to the subways to commute to Midtown Manhattan. Sophia's commute takes around 90 minutes one way and 30 minutes on the bus. She often experiences buses bunching together one after the other. You know, that's so true, especially along Merrick Boulevard, right? During AM rush hours, right? You'll see all these buses bunching together. Sometimes you'll see local buses, and sometimes you see limited buses heading out to the subway during AM rush hours. And same thing in the PM rush hours. Local buses, you got the limiteds and what have you, and you got some of these local buses doing short runs. Like, it's crazy. Yes, what I meant to say, right? It's crazy, okay? Right? And even though, right, there will be 7 newly crosstown select bus service routes, right? Those bus routes, right? Okay, how do I put this, right? The bus routes that were the bus routes that became select bus service routes like the Q44, the Q52, the Q53, and the Q70, they don't have to worry. They don't have to worry about the state of their machines because if they because they were already select bus service routes. They were already crosstown SBS routes before this redesign plan happened. So they'll keep their machines in the far foreseeable future up until the retirement of the Metro cards. But as for the new select bus routes, new crosstown select bus routes, such as the Q50, Q51, and Q98, right? Those routes, on the other hand, right, will not receive select bus fare paid machines. Most likely the TA is going to allow them to pay their fares inside the bus, or just gonna wait until they launch the entire Queens redesign plan until after the full retirement of MetroCards, or whichever comes first, in my opinion. Now, back to Miss Sophia, right? Make believe, all right. Sophia could have saved roughly 9 minutes on her one-way commute and can expect her bus to arrive at more regular intervals. Round trip, this gives Sophia extra 18 minutes in her day. One more time to stop for coffee, drop off the kids at school, or for one more snooze on the alarm clock. And the travel reduction times for this will take only up to 18 minutes. 18 minutes. Alright, so those of you who don't know, right? The proposed Q4, Q84, Q85, and the newly Q86, right, will not make major stops along Merrick Boulevard. For the Q4, that's along Merrick Boulevard between Liberty Avenue and Linden Boulevard. For the Q5 and Q86, that'll be along Merrick Boulevard between Liberty Avenue and Springfield Boulevard. Q84 and Q85 along Merrick Boulevard between Liberty Avenue and Baisley Boulevard. Baisley Boulevard. Alright, so that's that. While the newly proposed Q25 Limited. Now, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of these routes that was extended in one end but shortened on the other end. Okay, the proposed Q25, right? Proposed Q25, right, was shortened on its northern end, was service discontinued between College Point and downtown Flushing, which will be provided by the newly proposed Q17, which also have a route extension on its northern end, but is shortened on its southern end. On its southern end, okay, between College Point and Fresh Meadows, with the Q75 replacing the southern end of the Q17 for the most aspect. Right? Now back to Q25, right? But the Q25 will be extended on the southern end to serve the Merrick Boulevard bus corridor line all the way down to Springfield Gardens, Springfield Boulevard. More buses or more bus connectivity. Okay, guys, the next thing I want to show to you guys right here, right in front of us, is two completely different redesign plans. Okay, for this one I chose the Q69 route. Okay, as you can see on the right hand side of the screen, you see the QT69, which is 21st Street, previously the Q69. As you can see, originally it was labeled in red for limited stop service, which will connect neighborhoods across the entity of its entire line, of its bus line. Okay, that one was released back in 2019, and it was the QT69, also known as the Queens temporary 69 routes. Now, right here on the left hand side of your screen, it's the Q69 route, and this will be a projected proposed rush route. This, on the other hand, came from the new Queens Redesign Plan that was released this year back in late March of 2022. Alright, as you can see, right? The newer redesign plan is a much more big step up from the 2019 original plan. Okay, as you can see, it's more detailed. I can see it's more detail oriented. It says a little dash line right there. The discontinued portion of that dash line right there on the Q69 route from the new redesign plan. Service will be provided by either the Q39 or the Q63. All right. Right here with the original Queens Redesign Plan, you don't see that. And if you look at the comparison between these two screenshots right here, both of the routes are very identical, except the fact that the original QT69 from the 2019 document, from the original redesign plan released back in 2019, was originally a limited stop route, while the newer Q69, on the other hand, on the left hand side of the screen, it is purple for rush route. And rush routes are bus routes, right? That can get you to and from the subways at faster record time than would it be with a regular bus service, with regular local bus service. Okay. Now, as you all know, the Q69 connects with the 7 E, F, N, R, E, F, M, N, R, and W trains. Okay, and as you can see right here, the Q69 has an extension down south. That didn't happen to its northern portion on the line, but on its southern end, right? On its southern end, right? It will be extended all the way down to Hunters Point. Okay, providing ease of congestion from Queens Plaza, Long Island City. Okay, because as we discussed, right, the three major transit hubs here in Queens are Jamaica with Parsons Archer, the 165th Street Bus Terminal, something in Hillside, Parsons in Hillside, and the Long Island Railroad Air Train stop. Okay, and right now we also have Flushing. We have Flushing, very congested in that area of Flushing. The reason why it's like that is because you got so many buses layovering in that area. You got that one bus in the Bronx, the Q50. You got a whole slew of Casey Steingold buses. You got a one Queens Village bus, a one Jamaica Depot bus, few buses from the College Point Depot. Yes, they all lay over in Flushing. They all lay over in Flushing, and that's the reason for traffic jams and congestion all around that area. All around that area. So that needs to change. That needs to change. It's going to be changed one way or another. All right. And last but not least, we have Queens Plaza, Long Island City. Okay. Like I would say, there's like a handful of buses that terminate there, but some of these buses can be extended beyond Queens Plaza, and serve some lightly denselated areas such as Hunters Point, which right here, as we can see on the screen, that is where the proposed Q69 will serve. Oh, and for all the stops that this rush route is going to skip, it's going to be served and compensated by the proposed B62, which will also be extended from Long Island City to Astoria. Okay? Okay? Like I said, there's going to be bus routes that will be extended from one end but be shortened on the other end. There'll be buses that will remain the same on one end but will be extended on its other end. And that right there is a Q69 Rush featuring the B62 Limited. And as we mentioned before, any changes or reroutes or realignments that's done to the B62 in Brooklyn will be discussed in the Brooklyn Redesign Plan. Same thing that goes for the B57, and we will talk about the newly proposed B53 once the MTA has released their draft plans for the Brooklyn Bus Redesign Plan. Okay, and I really have to make this clear, right? Now, I notice that people are complaining about the bus redesign plan, trashing it or whatever. That's cool. That's fine. Trash it. To each of their own, right? If there's something that we do not like at all, we should air it out. It's a free country. If there's nothing that you don't like about these plans, you have every right. First Amendment speech, right? As long as you don't threaten the workers to say, oh, I don't like it, so I wanna do something to you. Let's not get too far here, okay? You have every right to exercise your First Amendment rights to address something that you don't like, okay? Again, if there's anything that you don't like with the Queens Redesign Plan, you can easily go to their project page and leave a comment on their computer, because they read these comments. Or you can simply just call 511 and someone will pick up, and someone write the comment for you and give it to the people who are overseeing the Queens Bus Redesign Plan. Alright? That's that. Now, listen, you guys complaining and whining and moaning and more whining about your bus service being highly inadequate, right? Is the reason why these redesign plans are happening. Alright? Don't you get it? The reason why these redesign plans are happening is because you guys have been complaining for years on end about how horribly and inadequate your bus service is. Okay? Now, I just want to make one thing clear, right? The 2019 redesign plan, it was trash. It was literal trash. I'll admit that. The 2019, the original Queens redesign bus plan from 2019, it was trash. It was horrible, literal trash. And before the 2019 and before the COVID-19 pandemic happened, right before coronavirus spread out to the entire world, and we have to stay in quarantine, right? The MTA had held at least a handful of these community board workshop hearings, right, where they lay out the plans for the Queens redesign plan, and they have already received at least 11,000 comments. Now, I don't know what the comments mention, but they have received at least 11,000 comments in regards to the original Queens bus redesign plan that was released back in 2019. Okay? Yes, they did. And during the pandemic or what have you, and by the time the bus redesign plans are back in full swing as of last summer, they got to work and create this whole new Queens bus redesign plan, which I really like for the most part. I can't really trash it entirely. I can't say I don't like it entirely. The original 2019 one is trash. This one right here, the newly 2022 one, is not, because it's very detail oriented. It gives you the route number. It says from which end to where your route will operate, what type of route it's going to be, and what bus stops will serve your which bus stops that your route will serve. Okay, like this newly Queens redesign plan is not trash. It's not trash. It's decent. I'll give the MTA that. However, there are some things I do not agree with, like with the headways, right? Why would you give some bus routes like 60 minutes or better during peak hours? Like, if you're going to redesign something and make it better than the previous one, you can make the headways a tad more better than what it is now. All right, you can make the headways a tad more better than what it is now. So that's that, right? Right. And another thing, right? You guys see that how do I say this? The proposed Q114 and Q111, right? Both rush routes, right? The Q111, which will operate between Parsons Hillside and 147th Avenue and Francis Lewis Boulevard, and Q114 rush that will operate between Parsons Hillside and Far Rockaway, Secret Boulevard, Beach 20th Street. Yeah. I don't like it how that bus stop, how that bus route is going to skip Foch Boulevard and Baisley Boulevard along Guy Arbor Boulevard, especially the fact where the proposed QM21 and the QM65 will serve Foch Boulevard. Like Foch Boulevard should be a priority bus stop for both the Q111 and Q114 rush. And I noticed that the bus stop on Guy Arbor Boulevard and 150th Avenue, which is adjacent to the Baisley Park bus depot, will be removed, which is fine. But the bus stop itself is going to be, the bus stop on Guy Arbor Boulevard and Sayers Avenue will be prioritized and will be bus stop. It will be a prioritized bus stop for the Q111, Q114, and Q115, due to the fact that the Q51 bus route will be operating along Linden Boulevard. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. I'm not gonna trash this Queen's redesign plan. I'm not. Okay, we will have 85 new bus routes and 28 28 express bus routes, which will add up to the total of 113 bus routes altogether added in the Queen's redesign plan. I'm very excited for this redesign plan, and I gotta say, move forward with the Queens Bus redesign plan. But I have to say this. This is directly to the MTA, okay? If you are going to move forward with this Queens redesign plan, all the comments and the feedback that you are receiving in regards to this redesign plan, take them into consideration, because remember, these are strap hangers. These are people that are pouring money into this agency, okay, when they hop on the bus, when they pay their fare, when they dip their MetroCard, when they tap their Omni, okay? These are your customers and your strap hangers that are paying for these rides, that are pouring money into your agency. And you know what they always say? The customer is always right. Okay? That's one thing that the TA needs to understand. The customer is always right. The strap hangers are the customers, okay? They are using these services. So please, MTA, please, use every single feedback that you are getting. I'm pretty sure the feedback for this new redesign plan is going to be a whole lot more than what you got for the old one back in 2019, early 2020. So please read every single feedback that you have and consider them. Okay? That's all I have to say in regards to this. Thank you. Okay, you guys, that's pretty much it, the end of the video. I have more information in regards to that idiot Kenneth Rambert, but you know what? I'm not going to include it here in this video. I am going to save that for another. I'm going to save that for the video after this video, because everything that Kenneth Rambert is doing right now is very dumb. It's super disgusting, and the things that he says on the internet, you're gonna laugh your ass off. And most of the screenshots that I got about this idiot moron imbecile is from his second YouTube channel, Kenneth Rambert from NYC-ish. All right. Now, now I'm gonna be completely honest. That YouTube channel will be gone soon. Is because on his Kenneth Rambert from NYC's channel, right? He is stealing people's videos. Yeah. He's literally stealing. He's literally stealing people's videos and claiming it to be his, just to push his falsehoods and everything everything that he's saying regarding the subway system. You know, I'm not gonna say here. You all know the false statements that he be saying, and everyone debunks him. Everyone debunks him. An adult debunks him. A young adult debunks him. Teenagers debunk him. A minor debunked him too as well. That's what shows you what type of person that Kenneth Rambert is. Everyone of all ages keeps on debunking him because he cannot accept reality, that everything he's saying is wrong, and he is too lazy, alright, too stupid, let alone too dumb to process information and do research on his own, okay? And he can't even look at a damn subway map. He can't even look at a damn subway map. Seriously, that's how dumb this guy is. Seriously. That's how dumb this guy is. Seriously. And I will be doing a mini exposed video on this guy. Alright? So stay tuned for that one. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Once again, I will feature this mini exposed clip on Kenneth Rambert, okay, in my upcoming video, because the next upcoming video is going to be a subway video. It's going to be a subway video, okay. You know, take a break from the buses for a while. It's going to mixture of buses and trains or whatever, right? It's going to be a New York City subway video, so stay tuned for that one as well. Yeah, the reason why I have to go so hard on buses is because the bus redesign plan has happened. I just want to get as much coverage as I can as possible, and yeah, you know, it's for me, June and onward, it's a very productive month for me, and I just want to get as much done as I possibly can. So, you know, just doing something, being very productive out there. Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see here, make sure you follow the Hub on Instagram, Twitter. I may have to announce something regards to Twitter and Instagram, but still follow me on Twitter and join the Hub's Discord page, and like and follow the Facebook fan page. And most importantly, make sure you subscribe to the Transportation Hub channel here on YouTube. I love all of you guys dearly, and I cannot wait to see all of you at the next stop.